Hello, my wonderful Biafran brothers and sisters, lovers of Biafran freedom and lovers of any mankind. Hey, this matter of our brother and our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is really taking a different dimension altogether. It has been on the headline for quite some time now. Why? Simply because the so-called Fulani controlled government of Nigeria refused to do what they're supposed to do in the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. If you feel the young man is guilty, if you feel he have any trial hanging on his neck, the simple truth is do what? Is to take him to court, prosecute him, and send him to prison. So the issue of abandoning him at the DSS dungeon speaks a volume of the fear of the Fulanis over Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is nothing but one man riot, abi one man squad. How do they talk this, where they shake every wall of the Fulanis. Imagine one person, all the whole Fulanis, both the rich and poor, everybody gathered. The same as Nnamdi Kanu must be arrested. But during the time of Asare Dokubo, who almost killed the economy of Nigeria to nothing, nobody even called for his head. During the time of Sunday Igboho, nobody called for his head. I mean, a lot of activists, including Omoyele Sowore, all these things are activists that have been spoken in one way or the other against the government and against the rulers in the so-called Asorok, but no one called for their head. But look at Nnamdi Kanu, and I beg, before I proceed, make una hear this headline. This one is from an activist, OYIBO activist. We can come out now, come, they cry on top of his voice, who say, make una free this young man. They say, the hikaba. He said, and what he called Nnamdi Kanu, and I quote, he said, Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience, and he must be freed. He put that word, he must be freed. Despite the fact that they call him from the United Nations Working Committee since they gave Nigeria 6 months to free Nnamdi Kanu. Now it's almost 1 year, and they are not saying anything again. The reason why, and I know, they have eaten the forbidden fruit. Nigeria is the only country when you want to put mouth for their matter, when the guns say you don't dey too strong, they will hammer you with one shipload of crude oil. You shut your mouth up. That's the simple truth. Our crude oil, where they're supposed to use to develop the country, is what Nigerian governments and their leaders are using to sell off the country, to make everybody shut up. Yes, that's the simple truth. If you don't know it, just know it from today. That the United Nations Working Committee, what did they call them, on arbitrary detention of going against people's human rights, said that Muhammadu Buhari should release Nnamdi Kanu within the space of 6 months. It is going to 1 year now. Since then, have they ever voiced out anything? They have not voiced out. The men, what do they call it? The men United Nations itself have not even shown any concern. What about UK? What about US? The only thing they are concerned is what is happening in Niger and Gabon, the place they have interest on. But on Biafra land, once Biafra is out of this race, of this contraction called Nigeria, all these Western allies, they will collapse. Yes, we hold what they call their progress, while our own country is languishing in poverty. Poverty keep on growing every day by day. Under Muhammadu Buhari, we have over 133 million Nigerians and Biafrans in poverty. Then now, this so-called Agbado, or what do they call him, have already come and increased it. Under the space of 100 days in office, we have over 137 million Nigerians living under multi-dimensional poverty. I mean, when you hear multi-dimensional poverty, it means that some families are living barely $50 on a daily basis, and the Nigerian government are not doing anything about it. The only person who came out and said enough is enough, let the poor breathe, that is Nnamdi Kanu. They have jailed him. He's now a prisoner of conscience. Anyway, my wonderful people, we don't have much time to waste. Let us go to show you the reason why we are here, so that we can read in between the lines, so that Honor will also hear it from the horse's mouth. Because when I talk like this, go be like say, I mean, they formulate the whole thing. That's why the fact I can also organize my own news. But let us read right from the horse's mouth. Another headline we have here is Lagos woman don't collapse and dies in my two. What happened? May her soul rest in perfect peace. Benue youth and also motorists they don't protest over collapse of Boko highway bridge. Make una see wetin dey happen. This one na the country where that so-called Governor Otum managed for complete good 8 years. Look at what is happening. This one is Boko highway. If you ask them now, they will tell you, oh, this one is a federal road. Oh, this one is state road. Oh, this one is local road. But all these roads have been awarded contract from time to time. Somebody is spending the money. Anyway, make on see another headline we have here. DSS don't give update on their Gariki market shooting because now them shoot. And they injured one teller. I don't ever forget the name of that teller where they injured. GSS now have been limited to they have downgraded them to ordinary police that they call to go and settle issues inside the market. GSS are supposed to be handling national issues. Now they don't handle inside market. Very soon they will begin to interfere on the issue of land grabbers. That is DSS for you. National Security Council, personnel that's supposed to be anything that got to do with terrorists, you call them, kidnapping, you call them, anything that got to do with the highly sophisticated issues. But now look at DSS now have turned themselves to ordinary man o' war, or even NSCDC itself is even better past them. Anyway, my wonderful people, I beg, make we read in between the lines. And make sure you do what? You like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification icon, be notified each time we go live or we are posting something new on this channel. It is now exactly 2 years and 3 months, if my memory serves me right. The the Fulani Nigerian government abducted and tortured and kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in solitary confinement of the Nigerian Secret Police DSS cell in Abuja. According to them, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British Nigerian activist, was kidnapped by the Nigerian authority in connivance with the Kenyan government and also UKMI. They joined in the hand and they are the one that captured Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and handed it over to the so-called Nigerian Nigerian, what they call it, DSS. On June 18 of 2021 at the parking lot of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Kenya, where he went for a medical checkup. He was taken to a private residency, chained on the bare floor, tortured in the most inhuman manner for days, blindfolded and subsequently flown in a private jet back to Nigeria on handcuffs like a common criminal. On arrival to Nigeria, he was taken to the detention cells of the Department of State Service, DSS, in Abuja, the Nigerian capital, where he's been subjected to all manners of torture and inhuman treatment ever since then. As a result, he developed a severe ear infection and other countless ailments. In the solitary confinement he was being kept, culminating and in continual deterioration of his health every passing day. Even at this point, up to this moment, as we're talking to you, the DSS have denied him access again to his personal doctors, irrespective of the fact that he was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria from Kenya, a crime on its own that contravenes the laws of cross-border arrest and arbitrary detention. The Nigerian government has refused to obey their own court order, which had earlier discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back in October 13 of 2022 by a federal appeal court in the country. The second highest court we have in the land. This country is Banana Republic, if you don't know. Moreover, aside the country rulings, aside the court rulings that freed him after all the frivolous 15-count charges leveled against him were squashed by his legal team, a UN working group on arbitrary detention after studying the situation surrounding his abduction and rendition, also ordered that he should be released by fire by force, even with a compensation. Yet, the Fulani Nigerian government and authorities refused to obey of this order simply because this guy is fighting for the emancipation of his own people. The marginalization which has been there for so long, since 1970 to date, that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting. Now, according to the news we have here, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu leads a movement that's seeking for an independent state of Biafra from the Nigerian government on the grounds of gross marginalization and lack of inclusiveness of the Biafran in the scheme of things in the federal government, or you can call them Fulani government of Nigeria. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that he leads, is legally registered in over 88 countries around the globe and are going about their agitation in the most peaceful manner since its inception in 2014. IPOB is a massive freedom movement of over 75 to 80 million followers, both at home and in diaspora. Being a peaceful movement that believes in the rule of law, Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB have exploited every option in getting justice for their detained leader as they kept pushing for an independent Biafra state through referendum. Sadly, however, the Nigerian government keeps flouting court orders and the continuous detention of the leader of over 80 million Biafrans. Anyway, that one is another story, but we'll have here. Lagos woman don't collapse in Machuo and by a yet to be identified woman collapsed and died in the early hours of Thursday at Maitu area of Lagos State. This one is another different story altogether. This one is coming from Lagos State. The eyewitnesses explained that the woman was walking across the bridge when she suddenly collapsed and passed away. Now hunger, make on a hear now hunger. Walking, maybe who knows how many miles must have been walked because there's not enough money to enter a public transport. This is what people are passing through. The so-called president of the Fulani control government of Nigeria do not see all these things. The only thing they see is traveling and giving out propaganda that is never true, telling us that the UAE have lifted the visa ban on Nigerians and the flight will be continue to fly now every now and then. But till today, nothing have come out of it. All is just lies upon lies. That is where the government is being built on. The person that is ruling us, they say is a man, but in his credentials show is a woman. So I don't know whether a woman man. A commercial motorcycle rider said she was about to get on a motorcycle when she suddenly collapsed. Initially, I thought it was a simple fall, but it became evident that something was terribly wrong when she stopped breathing. Chai, what a word. Or maybe cardiac arrest. At that time of filling this report, the identity of the deceased woman remained unknown, Vanguard's reports. Lagos State authorities are working to identify the deceased and investigate the circumstances surrounding her death. Okay, that one, Noka. Benue youths and motorists protest bridge collapse in the Boko Highway. Youths and motorists in Benue State on Wednesday barricaded Boko Highway following the federal government's delay in fixing a collapsed bridge on the road. The strategic bridge succumbed to heavy rains over the weekend. In response to the collapse of the bridge, a group of impassioned youths operating under the banner of Bayon Youths took to the streets to urge the Fulani government under the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a female, to swiftly intervene and rectify the situation. The bridge holds immense significance as it forms an integral part of a federal road network connecting Bokos to Aliade, close to Fidel Polytechnic, within Boko local government area of Benue State. This vital transportation artery plays a crucial role in linking Enugu and other states in the Nigeria's southern part of the country. Its collapse also left profound repercussions for the local community, serving their connection to other parts of the state and the country. The protesting youths warned residents and motorists not to contemplate traveling Boko Aliade Road during the peaceful protest. According to the leader of the youth group, Dr. Denen Abba, desperate actions is a result of several futile attempts by the community to undertake makeshift repairs on the road, culminating in our decision to block the road. Agbe further said the deplorable condition of the road and bridge had caused great pains and inconvenience to commuters in the area. Daily Post learned that news of the protest had reached the Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, who has mobilized resources to address the issue. Let it be done anytime soon. Alia instructed the Commissioner for Works and Housing, Honorable Itiza Imojime, and other government officials to assess the damage and devise a solution to tackle that as quickly as possible. Imojime paid a visit to the community leaders, Chief Moses Loteleyua, urging him to instruct his subject to reopen this usable portion of the bridge to facilitate human traffic. In doing so, he assured the community head of an immediate response to alleviate the hardship faced by the residents, while the state government initiated dialogue with the federal government to seek a lasting solution to the road's woes. In response, Chief Loteleyua expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the Alliance for his swift response in averting imminent breakdown of law and order in the area. A director of civil engineering in the ministry pledged full compliance with the commissioner's directives, ensuring swift mobilization to the site for repair work to commence by this Friday, according to the news we have here. Where the last but not the least, DSS come out to give us the update on their shooting of people in Garike Market. The Department of State Service has given an update on the shooting incident at the Gariki Market, Abuja, involving one of its operatives. Okute News record that some DSS operatives have stormed the market on September 7th to make an arrest following a dispute between a client and a vendor when the situation escalated, resulting in the shooting of a teller. In Hiram, DSS now, DSS, national, how the mighty has fallen. Giving an update in a statement on Thursday, DSS spokesperson Peter Funanya disclosed that the agency has constituted an in-house investigative team. He stated that while the inquiry is ongoing, the service has visited the two injured persons at the different hospitals where they are receiving treatments. According to the DSS, the secret police paid the medical bills and made the required deposit for the victims. Are you sure? We will still come out tomorrow now and hear that they never paid anything. We will still hear it. Just you post back with them. Afonanya said the service expressed readiness to move them to its world-class medical facility in Abuja. It could have undertaken these actions even if its staff were not involved. Though these efforts are not in any way an admission of guilt, as investigation is yet to be concluded. The service believes that the victims deserve empathy, financial support, and justice. While it is in regular contact with their families or guardians, it will continue to follow up on their recovery and progress. However, the DSS assures the public that the victims are upbeat and responding well to treatment. The public may not wish to note that the service has not interfered with the investigation of the police, which is also detaining its staff suspected to be involved in the shooting incident. The service position is not only to ensure justice for the victims, but it is in line with its avowed commitment to transparency and accountability and the rule of law. Nevertheless, updates of this nature will always be made available till the matter is finally resolved. This is the word of the Okute. Thanks be to okutenews.com. Anyway, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers, now here we go take do what? Here we go take back break. We are coming back again with another blockbuster. Remember, my name never changed. I still remain Amandia Neze Okute from the platform of Okute Daily Talk. That's your media man with a difference. And your broadcaster will get better swag. I mean, they give you news and the truth, nothing but the truth. We don't propaganda, we don't give fake news. So your only thing where you go do for me to make sure that this message, you use your both hand to this message so that every news and crannies of this nation will know that even as our own prominent men in the Igbo land kept silent over the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there is still some way meaning from a global family that is speaking on behalf of that young man. Very soon, that is our prayers and our commitment to make sure that he gets the freedom as soon as possible. Anyway, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers, I beg, make gonna help me share, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for a better experience in the next video. Have a nice day, and the good Lord bless you as you do this. To Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Do have a nice day. I'll be right back. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday.